Hi guys, welcome back. This is the English version, the complement to the Portuguese version. In this video here, it'll be pretty much the same, but in English. I will make a comment about the fixed income, the safe approach. I'll tell you that it does have a risk. I was pleased last time, but after further research, not as pleased. Yes, I fell into a similar trap. For that, I feel a little bit bad. Yes, I have experience in it. It was in the Brazilian market, but that doesn't really make a difference. So, let's go. As you're aware, the economy is suffering at the moment. In order to stimulate it, the government is lowering bank interests. The emphasis is on banks. What is the significance of this on the general public? Is it a good time to borrow? Yes, but it's not as good of a time to lend. Before we begin, credit card is the worst debt. It has high interest rates that cost you early financial independence. I say early financial independence because people are learning to take control again. In my opinion, financial education and independence begins between 14 to 18 years of age. You're about to go to school, college. You're with your friends in high school. Do you take out a loan? Do you do like a lot of your classmates and choose to go to the more expensive school and cost more? Can you get a good education for less? The answer is yes. Less, yes, yes, less. Whoa, it's a rhyme. Maybe it's a sign. But you can. You can go to a community college, a local college that costs less for, say, 2 years before the university. And you'll get a fine education. Job opportunities are going to be just as good. Do you have your parents take out a loan and sacrifice their financial security? Many do this. The parents feel they might have to do this or they should do this. It costs them their financial security. Not totally, but a good portion of their financial security. Let's look at a $100,000 loan at 2.25% for 10 years. This is what the interest rate is that Brazil was charging. So I just went with this rate. It's almost $1,000 a month. $1,000 a month for 10 years. That is a lot of money. People say it's better to pay off loans first or early. I don't understand this because it is too general of a statement. I'm using the Selic rates because they're higher than the US. And for this discussion, you can get a good idea. Once upon a time, the US had rates just as high. As you can see, it's about 2.25 compared to our almost zero. Almost zero. In this case, you can borrow money for free pretty much. But you know that's not going to be the case. Go back 6 months and you're at about 2%. Here, at 4.5%, you're paying over $1,000. This loan may represent a college education. It could represent a house payment. I know, House payments, typically people pay more than 10 years, but let's just work with this. Almost $1,000. Do you see how the interest is very, very high at the beginning? Finally, towards the end, you're paying mainly principal. So, how can you say it's better to pay it off? If you only have about 2 or 3 years left, you're paying mainly payment. You're not paying the interest. It's too generic. Also, if you look at paying it early, you can see how, this is just a comparison between 4.5 and the 2.5. And you can see how you save about $100. Again, paying it off early. This is an excellent post. She's from Brazil, and she's educating the Brazilians. I have a friend from Brazil, a few. I followed this post, and I liked it. I really did. It talks about 13% on fixed income. 13%. The question she asked is security gone? Is fixed income out the window? You hear that in the US as well. Is it gone? It is not gone. The answer is it's not gone. Is there risk to it? This is where I made my mistake in the last video. There is risk. The reason why there's risk is I did check into this. I asked some people. Asking questions is really one of the most important things you can do in life, in investing, in anything. 13%. She said she found 13%. I was excited. But I tried to find a 13%. It was only maybe for a day or two, and it's gone. I checked out on the websites where they actually have it advertised, and they say this is no longer available. To me, that's risk. Risk because if you don't get it, then you're right back to making no money. Making no money. So, should you go to stocks? I'll get back to that in a moment. Right now, we're really talking about interest in many ways. So, as you can see, you save money from your interest if it's lower. Yes, this is common knowledge. These are the principles, which somebody else told me is they know the principles. But I wonder at times. So, paying it off a loan early. Here I am just taking $100 and paying $100 additional dollars. So if you refinance your house, as a for instance, refinance your school loans if you can. Imagine going from 4.5% to 2.25%. That is a refinancing which can save you $100. You can see the interest that you can pay off. The payment, there are significant savings. So, my recommendation would be to keep the same payment, that $100, to pay it off early in this particular aspect. But that paying it off early depends on the interest rate. Because you can take this $100 and actually invest it, say in the stock market. The stock market on average accumulates 9% a year. It has to be done over a long term. You're not going to make 7% a year, and even if you do, what good is that going to do for you? So, this is the reason why it begins at 14 to 18. What happens is, take this $100, just $100, and you can see how it grows. You double your money at 13%. This was a little high. but I didn't want to change my numbers. Cut it in half. So instead of doubling your money in say 6 years, it'll take you a little bit longer, depending upon the interest rate. But that's fine. Now, I used it in the years. If these were months, look at how each of those $100 grows, especially if it's going to be on a month basis. This is where you start having extra income coming in by not paying it off early. Remember on another video, I had actually shown you where interest early on counts. A 10-year loan, a 10-year loan. So if you're paying $100 a month, it's going to make a big difference towards the end. Are stocks the thing to buy? Not necessarily. Here's a stock that for 5 years, you haven't really made any money unless you bought and sold, which I don't recommend. Here's another stock you could have made money. I do recommend Apple stock. I really do. From the aspect of not making money, but from the aspect of it being a good company. I don't see Apple falling down, going out of business anytime soon. Would I recommend buying Apple stock? I can't make that recommendation because you may not have the money to buy. You may not have any other factors. Yes, you should invest. But to arbitrarily pick out a stock because it's a good company and say invest in it, no. My friend, I talked to her a couple of years ago. I knew her situation. 2 years, you know what's changed in 2 years, right? Unemployment's high. The economy is struggling. Would you buy into it? Oh, yes. In hindsight, you can say yes to buy into it. Well, this is an airline company in Brazil. A lot of other companies, Disney went down. Delta and the other airlines dropped down. So, it's not something you can just say, oh, go buy it. Again, Apple is a good stock. It is worth having in your portfolio. But if you look, say, in January when it dropped down, okay, what does this mean? When do you need the money? This is the reason why it's long term. To say to buy the stock and it drops down, well, you might need the money and you invested because you thought it was going to go up. Yes, you could have doubled your money in 2 years, but there's more to it than that. That's somewhat luck. Here is the stock in America, the USA. So here's a question for you. Which stock is better? Which stock gives you a higher percentage? Which stock is better? Does the percentage make a difference? I started this channel because of a friend of mine. I have made a few extra friends, and they want to know how to proceed. I'm helping them with their proceedings as best I can. I am teaching. My biggest comment that I will make to everybody: do the research. I can teach you and I will show you many things, but to make a recommendation, no. I know 13% is good. I thought it was easy to get. First, when I looked at the website, it even said that it was low risk. Not no risk, but low risk. Second, not being able to get that CD. So if you can't get the CD, where are you? Now you have to ask yourself, where are you? Going back down to maybe 2%, 1%, 0.5%? That is saving. That is emergency money. That is not investing. You want to grow your money, you need to invest. Fixed income is necessary, but you need to know why, and that'll be another video. Thank you for listening. It's not an exact duplicate of the other video, but you can get an idea. It is still good if you're learning the two languages. It definitely applies for English learners on the stock, on how easy it is to get brought in by somebody respected. I still like listening to Nathalia. I have her book. She is helping. But there is more to just helping. Really, you need to educate. Education is showing the pros and the cons. I've shown both, and there's more to show. Thank you. Hope you liked it. Leave a comment. I will talk to you the next time. Ciao.